There's a reason you're not rich yet, and it has nothing to do with how hard you work. It's not your job, it's not your education, it's not the economy, and it's definitely not bad luck. It's your frequency. You see, most people try to get rich using action alone. They hustle, grind, wake up at 5 a.m., push through pain, but still feel stuck, still broke, still empty. Why? Because money doesn't follow effort. Money follows vibration. Wealth is not something you chase, it's something you tune into. It's a signal, a frequency that already exists, and you're either aligned with it or you're repelling it with every thought you think. This isn't wishful thinking. This is law, universal law. Like gravity, it doesn't care if you believe it. It just is. Right now, at this very moment, your mind is broadcasting a signal to the universe. And the universe is just mirroring it back to you. If you're vibrating scarcity, you'll receive more situations that reflect lack. If you're radiating fear, you'll attract reasons to be afraid. But when your mind is attuned to abundance, when your dominant frequency is wealth, power, certainty, faith, you will begin to receive everything that matches that signal. People call this the law of attraction, but Napoleon Hill called it autosuggestion, the ability to plant a seed in your subconscious and water it with repetition, emotion, and belief until it grows into a financial reality. Here's the truth most people never realize. Your subconscious is the gateway to wealth, not your job, not your hustle, your subconscious frequency. And the way you speak to it, the way you program it, is everything. This is where it all begins. Pause for a beat. Now ask yourself, what signal have you been sending? Do your thoughts scream abundance, or do they whisper desperation? Because the subconscious doesn't respond to your words, it responds to your emotional truth. And your emotional truth is your frequency. This is why some people rise from nothing and become millionaires, while others with more talent and more connections stay stuck in mediocrity. It's not the world that's holding them back. It's the internal broadcast they never changed. Let me make this clear. Wealth is not a thing. It's not a destination. It's a mental climate. It's a vibrational home you must move into before the money arrives. You must become the person who receives before you ever actually receive. Most people have it backwards. They wait for success to feel successful. They wait for money to feel abundant. They wait for signs to believe. But the signal must come first. You must feel rich before you are rich, because emotion is the activator, belief is the amplifier, and repetition is the switch. Let me repeat that. Emotion activates the frequency. Belief amplifies it. Repetition locks it in. And when you combine all three, consciously, deliberately, you become unstoppable. That's when life begins to shift. That's when strange coincidences start showing up. Opportunities, ideas, people, unexpected breakthroughs. It's not magic. It's alignment. You're finally in tune with the signal that has always been broadcasting, but now, for the first time, you can actually hear it, feel it, respond to it. But here's the catch. You can't fake this. You can't try to think rich while deep down you still feel unworthy. You must transform your inner identity. And that takes a decision. A decision to rewire the old programming, to let go of the lies, to kill the version of you that was built in survival, and birth the version of you that's built to receive. So I'll ask you again, are you ready to shift your frequency? Are you ready to train your mind to attract wealth like a magnet? Because in the next part of this video, I'm going to show you exactly how to do that. But before we go deeper, if you feel the fire already, if this message is waking something up inside you, pause and subscribe right now. This channel is your home if you're serious about transformation. And trust me, what's coming next will change your life forever. Let's keep going.
Let's talk about reprogramming your mind. Because if you don't change the signal, you'll never change the outcome. Your life is a mirror. It reflects not what you say you want, but what you believe you deserve. And here's the hard truth. Most people believe they're not enough, not worthy, not chosen. They were programmed with fear, guilt, poverty, and shame from childhood, school, religion, culture, and family. And now they walk around carrying invisible blocks that repel abundance like a magnet flipped the wrong way. But that ends today, because awareness is the first reset, and repetition is the rewiring. Let's break this down. Your subconscious mind is like fertile soil. It doesn't care what seeds you plant. It just grows what you give it. If you feed it fear, it grows limitation. If you feed it faith, it grows abundance. But most people never plant anything intentionally. They just repeat what they heard growing up. Money doesn't grow on trees. Rich people are greedy. Be grateful for what you have and don't ask for more. Don't dream too big. People like us don't get rich. And so their mind becomes a prison, a self-made cage built from inherited beliefs. Napoleon Hill called these thought patterns hypnotic rhythm. It's when your dominant thoughts become habits, and your habits become a fixed mental frequency, and that frequency becomes your life. But you can break the rhythm. You can interrupt the signal, and it begins with auto-suggestion. Auto-suggestion is the technique of feeding your subconscious mind new commands, intentionally, emotionally, repeatedly. Hill said this, "Any idea, plan, or purpose may be placed in the mind through repetition of thought." That means if you want to become rich, you must impress that idea upon your subconscious until it becomes law, until it's no longer just a wish, but a core belief that shapes your decisions, your energy, and your identity. You don't attract what you want. You attract what you are. So, how do we change what you are? We begin with language. Words are not just sounds. They're frequencies, spells. Every word you speak carries vibration. So if you walk around saying, "I can't afford that," "I'm broke," "I never catch a break," "I'm stuck," your subconscious locks it in as truth. Your frequency adjusts to match that scarcity, and your reality confirms it. But when you begin to speak life into your situation, even before it changes, everything starts to shift. Start saying, "I am aligned with wealth. Money flows to me easily and frequently. My vibration attracts success. I am worthy of abundance. I receive with ease." You might not believe it at first. That's okay. The goal isn't to force belief. The goal is to saturate your mind until it submits. That's the power of repetition. The subconscious doesn't learn through logic. It learns through rhythm, like music, like waves, like prayer. That's why affirmations work when they are backed by emotion. Emotion is the gateway. If you say, "I'm rich but feel lack," you'll stay in lack. But if you say, "I'm rich," while visualizing it, feeling it, tasting it, your subconscious begins to accept it. And once it accepts it, it begins to broadcast that frequency out, and reality begins to shape itself around your new vibration. This is what Hill meant when he said, "Whatever the mind can conceive and believe, it can achieve." It wasn't metaphor. It was a literal formula. Conceive equals imagine it clearly and emotionally. Believe equals impress it on your subconscious with repetition. Achieve equals watch the outer world align with your inner blueprint. But here's the mistake most people make. They affirm once. They visualize once. They try for a week. And when nothing changes, they quit. They say, "This doesn't work." But the universe isn't testing your technique. It's testing your consistency. Think of it like tuning a radio. You can't just twist the dial once and expect perfect sound. You have to lock in the frequency. Hold it. Live in it, no matter what the outside world says. That's how you shift your identity. That's how the wealth frequency becomes you. You start walking differently, talking differently, making decisions from power, not fear. You begin saying no to things that no longer match your vibration. You stop chasing. You start attracting. Because you've become a match for what you want. And when you match it, you receive it. So now, here's what I want you to do. Right after this video, go stand in front of a mirror, look into your own eyes, and say this out loud 3 times with energy. I am tuned to the frequency of wealth. I am ready to receive. I am no longer chasing. I am attracting. Say it until it feels real. Say it until the voice in your head changes. Because the old voice, that's not you. That's programming. And you're not here to repeat the past. You're here to rewrite the code. And in part 3, I'm going to show you exactly how to align your environment, your habits, and your daily rituals to lock in this frequency permanently, so wealth becomes your new default. But first, if this spoke to you, if this part gave you a shift, hit like and drop a comment with the words, "I receive." Say it, type it, declare it. You've got to claim it before you can carry it. This journey is just beginning.
You've begun shifting your inner world. Now it's time to anchor that shift in your outer world. Because no matter how strong your affirmations are, if your environment is pulling you backward, you'll always feel like you're climbing uphill in quicksand. Let's be clear. Your environment is part of your frequency. Everything around you, your room, your habits, your routine, your social circle, is either reinforcing your wealth vibration or disrupting it. You cannot rise while being surrounded by what reminds you of lack. So the first question is simple. What in your environment reflects poverty, fear, or limitation? That broken drawer you've been ignoring? The cluttered space you've stopped noticing? The unpaid bills stacked on your desk? The social media feed full of drama, gossip, and scarcity? They may seem small, but every one of those things carries a signal, a subtle frequency that whispers, "You're not in control. You're overwhelmed. You're surviving, not thriving." And that signal becomes part of your subconscious reality. So here's what you must do. Clean it, clear it, cut it, shift it. Your external space must mirror your internal truth. Because when you walk into a clean, high-vibe space, your mind shifts, your thoughts rise, your self-worth expands. This isn't just about feng shui or good vibes. This is psychological, scientific. Your brain is constantly scanning your surroundings to decide what's safe, what's possible, what's normal. So if your space screams struggle, your subconscious hears, struggle is our standard. And it keeps attracting more of it. But if your space whispers order, excellence, and intention, your subconscious starts to align with that frequency. Suddenly, wealth becomes familiar, expected, normal. This is how we shift from wanting wealth to embodying it. Let's take it further. Your morning routine is the amplifier. The first 60 minutes of your day are the most programmable. In those early moments, your mind is still in theta state. The subconscious is wide open. So what you do, say, think, and feel in that window will determine your frequency for the entire day. Here's how to claim that power. Silence before screens. Don't check your phone first thing. That's like handing over your vibration to the world. Instead, sit in stillness, even 2 minutes. Reconnect to yourself before reacting to anything outside. Speak your frequency. Say your affirmations with emotion, not like a robot, like someone who means it. Try this. I am in harmony with abundance. I receive with ease. I move through the world with power and purpose. Feel every word. Let it hit your chest. Visualize your wealthy self. Not just the money, the life, the energy, the peace. See yourself walking into rooms with quiet confidence, making decisions from alignment, not anxiety, giving without fear, receiving without guilt. Live it in your mind until your body believes it. Gratitude as frequency fuel. Gratitude is the fastest way to elevate your vibration, not just for what you have, but for what's coming. I'm grateful for the opportunities on their way to me. That's a power statement. It tells the universe, I'm open, I'm expectant, I trust. Now, here's the truth. Repetition is your ritual. You don't do this once and become rich. You do this daily and become magnetic. Because the wealth frequency is not a one-time signal. It's a constant broadcast, and your job is to keep the signal clean, clear, and consistent. Even when nothing changes on the outside, especially then. Because that's the test. Can you hold the frequency when reality doesn't agree yet? That's what separates the few who rise from the many who repeat the cycle. They don't wait for evidence. They become the evidence. And when you become the evidence, the universe can't help but respond. Let me tell you something Hill said that most people overlook. Faith is the only known antidote for failure. He didn't mean religious faith. He meant energetic conviction, a deep, unwavering certainty that what you've planted will bloom. Faith is the bridge between your current vibration and your future reality. Without it, you'll get discouraged. You'll quit. You'll fall back into the old frequency. But with it, you'll hold the line. You'll walk through resistance. You'll outlast the lag time. Because yes, there's a lag. There is always a delay between planting the seed and harvesting the fruit. That's where most people fall off. They want instant results. But wealth doesn't respond to impatience. It responds to stability. And when you show the universe that you don't just want it, you're ready for it. You're holding the vibration no matter what. That's when the gate opens. So here's your challenge. For the next 7 days, commit to your frequency. Wake up and command your vibration. Clean your space like you're already rich. Speak abundance like it's your native language. Visualize your new life like it already belongs to you. Cut out anyone or anything that drags you back to survival mode. Do this and watch what starts shifting. Watch how the air around you changes. Watch how people respond differently. Watch how the world starts to whisper back to you. Yes, you're ready. And in part 4, we're going even deeper. I'm going to show you how to use emotional triggers, inner conflict, and identity transformation to completely rewire your mind to become a receiver of divine wealth. Not just material money, but energetic power. But before we go there, if you're feeling this alignment right now, share this video with someone who needs it. Someone stuck in old programming. Someone ready to shift. Let's spread this frequency. We're just getting started. Let's talk about the part no one wants to face. Your inner resistance. You've cleaned your environment. You've started speaking the right words. You've built a morning routine that aligns you with abundance. But then, a voice creeps in. That quiet, cold voice that says, "This is fake. You've always failed. Who are you to believe you deserve more? People like you don't get rich. That's for them, not you." That voice is not random. It is the echo of your identity. And if you don't deal with it, if you don't face the roots of that voice, no affirmation, no visualization, no positive quote will ever stick. Because you cannot manifest a reality higher than the identity you secretly believe you are. Let that sink in. The most powerful frequency you'll ever emit is the one that says, "This is who I am." Not what you want, not what you say, but what you believe you are allowed to receive. And most people, deep down, believe they are not enough. They've been programmed to feel small, invisible, powerless, unworthy of abundance. This is where the real battle begins. Napoleon Hill didn't just teach about success. He taught about inner war. You have absolute control over only one thing, your thoughts. But those thoughts, they're shaped by identity, and identity is shaped by emotional memory. What happened to you in the past is still shaping how you vibrate in the present. That moment your father told you money was evil, that time you were humiliated for dreaming too big, the pain of being ignored, rejected, overlooked, all of it lives inside you. Not as memory, but as frequency, as a code your subconscious runs 24/7. And unless you rewrite the code, you'll keep attracting evidence to support it. This is why you can grind hard, think positive, even make some money, and still lose it, still sabotage it, still feel unworthy. Because deep inside, you're carrying a contradiction. Your conscious mind says, "I want abundance," but your subconscious says, "I'm not safe to receive it." This conflict creates static in your frequency. And the universe doesn't respond to words. It responds to signal clarity. So, how do you clear the static? You face the pain. You don't run from it. You don't numb it. You don't bury it under fake positivity. You sit with it. You feel it, and then you transmute it. That's the key. Pain doesn't disappear. It transforms. You turn shame into power, guilt into purpose, fear into fire. And it starts with self-forgiveness. You must forgive yourself for every time you lowered your value, every time you settled, every time you said yes when you meant no, every time you believed you weren't good enough. Forgiveness is not weakness. It's energetic release. Because as long as you're holding on to regret, you're vibrating at the frequency of the past. But when you release it, you free yourself to rise. Now listen closely. Your identity is not fixed. It's fluid. It's programmable. It's expandable. But you must build a new emotional home. Instead of defaulting to fear, you default to faith. Instead of expecting rejection, you expect reception. Instead of identifying as a struggler, you identify as a receiver. This is where the magic happens. When your identity shifts, your decisions change, your energy changes, and your life begins to rearrange itself to match the new you. This is what Hill meant when he said, "No one is ready for a thing until he believes he can acquire it." Belief is not a thought, it's an identity. So here's what I want you to do. Close your eyes. Picture the version of you who already lives in wealth. Not just financial wealth, but emotional and energetic wealth. See their posture. Hear their tone. Feel their presence. Watch how they walk into a room. Watch how they handle pressure. Watch how they receive without guilt. Now ask yourself, what would it take to become that person? Not next year, not in 10 years, now. Because the truth is, that version of you already exists. They're not far away. They are just one frequency shift away, one brave decision away, one powerful rewrite away. But here's the final key to this part. You must act from the identity you're stepping into, not the one you're leaving behind. Don't make decisions based on your old story. Make them based on your next level. The person who is tuned to wealth doesn't shrink when challenged. They don't hesitate in front of opportunity. They don't beg, they command. They walk in rooms and shift energy. They invest in themselves. They say yes to what expands them and no to what drains them. That person is you. Not someday, now. And in part 5, we're going to unlock the next layer. How to use energetic embodiment, faith, and mental discipline to lock your frequency at the level of unstoppable wealth no matter what life throws at you. But for now, if this hit something deep, comment below, "I am ready." Not just to want wealth, but to become the version of me who can receive it. The transformation is already happening. Let's keep going.
So now you've begun rewriting the story. You're not just thinking about wealth, you're starting to embody it. But here's where the real test comes. What do you do when life contradicts your frequency? What do you do when the money hasn't shown up yet? When the opportunity falls through? When the fear creeps back in? When nothing outside has changed, but you've changed? This is the place where most people abandon the path. They say, maybe it's not working. Maybe I was just fooling myself. Maybe I should go back to what's safe. But this is also the moment when the few rise, because the few understand a secret. You don't hold the frequency because it feels good. You hold it because it's who you've chosen to become. And once you choose, you don't negotiate with your old self anymore. You see, real wealth isn't just about money. It's about energetic stability. It's about being unfazed. Storms will come. Delays will happen. People will doubt you. Your old habits will tempt you back. But when you've made a soul-level decision, when your frequency is locked through embodiment, you stop reacting and you start responding. This is the energy of someone who's already rich on the inside. Not desperate, not needy, not proving, just aligned. So how do you stay there? 3 things: embodiment, faith, discipline. Let's start with embodiment. Embodiment means you no longer try to be wealthy. You live as if you already are. Not pretending, not faking, but choosing actions, thoughts, and energy that match the version of you who already has it. If that version of you wouldn't chase, then stop chasing. If that version of you wouldn't entertain drama, then let it go. If that version of you walks with confidence, then fix your posture. If that version of you invests in growth, then act accordingly. Every time you take an action aligned with your next level identity, you reinforce the frequency. You tell your subconscious, this is who we are now. And your subconscious updates the code. But embodiment alone isn't enough. You need faith. Not blind hope, not wishful thinking, but the kind of energetic certainty that does not waver, no matter what the bank account says today. Napoleon Hill called it faith. Modern science might call it neural certainty. Spiritual circles call it knowing. Whatever name you give it, the principle is the same. When your belief becomes unshakable, the universe has no choice but to align. It may not come in the way you expect. It may not come in the timing you planned, but it will come because you've already received it in the spirit. And what's received in the spirit must eventually manifest in the physical. You cannot plant a seed of oak and get weeds. So what you've planted in your subconscious through vision, repetition, and identity will bloom. The only question is, will you keep watering it when the soil still looks dry? Because that's where the third element comes in. Discipline. This is the most underrated part of the wealth frequency. It's not sexy, it's not viral, but it's where all the power lives. Discipline is how you protect the vibration. You build habits that maintain alignment. You remove distractions that lower your signal. You stick to the vision even when motivation disappears. Discipline isn't about force. It's about devotion. It's the sacred structure that supports your transformation. You wake up and do the work, not because you feel like it, but because your future self depends on it. You journal, visualize, pray, affirm, show up, let go, forgive, day after day, not to get rich, but because you already are in spirit, and this is who you've become. That's what wealth really is. It's not just dollars in a bank account. It's energetic authority. It's the way you walk into a room, the silence you keep when others panic, the power you carry without needing validation, the choices you make that scream, I already have it, I already am it. And here's the paradox. When you don't need the thing anymore because you've become it, that's when it shows up. That's when the phone rings. That's when the opportunity lands. That's when the door you thought was closed cracks wide open. Because now you're in alignment. Now your signal is pure. Now you're no longer fighting your past. You're living from your future self. So here's the practice I want you to try for the next 3 days. Wake up and ask yourself this one question. How would the wealthiest version of me live this day? Not how do I get rich, but how does the version of me who's already there move, think, speak, decide? Then live that version. Even if your surroundings don't match yet, even if no one claps for you, Even if the old you keeps screaming, you keep showing up as the new you, because every moment is either a vote for your future or a sacrifice to your past. And in part 6, we're going to unlock the next gate, how to collapse time and speed up manifestation by aligning thoughts, emotions, and actions in a single coherent frequency, so success begins chasing you. But before we go there, if you've made the decision to become that person, comment below, "I hold the frequency." Say it, feel it, claim it. The transformation is no longer coming. It's already begun.
So now you're holding the frequency. You're embodying the wealth. You're choosing from your future, not reacting from your past. And now comes the question every awakened mind begins to ask. How do I collapse time? How do I close the gap between the energy I'm holding and the results I haven't seen yet? Because you're not just here to feel good, you're here to manifest. You're not just here to visualize the dream, you're here to live it. And the truth is, manifestation is not delayed by the universe, it's only delayed by misalignment. When your thoughts say one thing, your emotions feel another, and your actions move in a third direction, you're sending a scrambled signal. And the universe doesn't respond to confusion, it responds to coherence. Write this down. Manifestation speed equals alignment strength. The clearer the signal, the faster the return. So how do we collapse time? We align the 3 power centers: mind, heart, action. Let's break it down. Number 1, align your thoughts. This is where intention begins. Most people say they want wealth, but their thoughts are infected with doubt. It'll probably take forever. What if it doesn't work? This always happens to me. Those aren't just thoughts, they're commands. Your subconscious takes those commands and builds a reality around them. So what's the fix? Replace reaction with creation. Start every morning by consciously choosing your dominant thought. Today, I align with ease. I am open to miracles. I receive wealth from unexpected sources. Money flows through me effortlessly. Every step I take accelerates my abundance. You don't just think those thoughts, you lock them in like a laser. You say them until your nervous system believes them, until your subconscious accepts them as normal. Number 2, align your emotions. This is the amplifier. Emotion is what charges thought with power. If you think abundance but feel fear, guess which one your frequency is broadcasting? Emotion wins, every time. So your job isn't to fake emotion, it's to generate it. This is why visualization is so powerful. Not just because you see it, but because you feel it. You close your eyes and feel the moment you check the bank account and it's full. You feel the peace, the power, the certainty, the gratitude. You embody that version of yourself who's already arrived. And your heart sends out that electromagnetic signal to the field. Now the universe doesn't just hear your mind, it feels your vibration. And when you combine thought plus emotion, you create a coherent field. But there's one piece left. Number 3, align your actions. This is the signal booster. You can't think rich and act broke. You can't feel abundant and then walk around making decisions from fear. You can't visualize success and then keep hiding. Action is how you anchor the vibration. So ask yourself daily, what does the wealthy version of me do? What choices do they make? How do they spend their time? What do they say yes to, and what do they ignore? Then act accordingly. Even small moves matter. Send the email, Start the project. Clean the space. Invest in the book. Have the conversation. Walk like you already won. You're not doing it to earn the result. You're doing it because you're already aligned with the version of you who lives there. And once thought, emotion, and action move as one, time bends. Reality starts moving faster. Opportunities show up out of nowhere. You meet the right people, you say the right words, doors open, paths unfold. Not because you forced it, but because you became the frequency. You didn't chase success, you attracted it by turning yourself into the magnet. This is the secret Napoleon Hill was pointing to when he wrote, "When riches begin to come, they come so quickly, in such great abundance, that one wonders where they have been hiding during all those lean years." They were never hiding. You just weren't tuned in. But now you are. And here's the final power move in collapsing time. Gratitude in advance. Most people say thank you after something arrives. But when you say thank you before, you collapse the timeline. You act as if it's already done. And that belief sends a message. I trust. I receive. I already have it. The universe matches that confidence. It moves mountains for that vibration. So here's what I want you to practice. Every night before bed, say thank you for the things that haven't manifested yet, as if they're already yours. Thank you for the wealth flowing into my life. Thank you for the opportunities aligned with my purpose. Thank you for the peace that money can't buy. Thank you for the people who are already on their way to bless me. Do this and watch what starts speeding up. And in part 7, we're going to pierce the deepest layer of all. How to completely erase generational poverty programming, shift your lineage's financial vibration, and become the first millionaire frequency in your family. But first, if you're ready to collapse time, comment below, I align fully. Let your words be the signal. Let your alignment be your breakthrough. You are no longer waiting for wealth. You are walking in it.
Break the chain. Become the first millionaire frequency in your bloodline. This is not just about you anymore. This is about your bloodline, your lineage, the generations that came before you, and the ones that will come after. Because whether you realize it or not, you've inherited more than just your grandfather's last name or your mother's smile. You've inherited their energy, their beliefs, their pain, their frequency. And for most people, that inheritance is poverty, not just in money, but in mindset. Scarcity is inherited. Self-doubt is inherited. Playing small is passed down like a sacred tradition, not because your family was weak, but because they were in survival mode. They taught you what they knew. They gave you what they had. But now you are here to end the cycle. You are the disruptor, the pattern breaker, the one chosen to shift the vibration of your entire bloodline. And yes, this calling is heavy, because wealth is not just a bank balance. Wealth is a frequency of freedom, and freedom is a responsibility. If you want to be the first in your family to become rich, you must be the first to do what no one else did. 1. Question the old beliefs. You must look at the inherited programming and ask, is this mine or was this given to me? Was it really your belief that money is hard to get, that rich people are bad, that enough is safer than more? Or was that your mother's fear, your grandfather's wound, your culture's control?
You can love your family without repeating their patterns. And you don't honor your ancestors by staying poor. You honor them by becoming everything they never had the chance to be. By saying, "It ends with me." 2. Heal the guilt. Because let's be honest, there's a part of you that fears surpassing them. A part that whispers, "If I become rich, they'll resent me. If I rise, I'll be alone. If I have more, I'll lose connection." That guilt is energetic glue. It keeps you stuck in the old frequency, not because you don't want success, but because you feel disloyal for having it. Let that go now. You are not betraying anyone by becoming abundant. You are freeing them through your example. Your wealth is not selfish, it's sacred. Your abundance is a declaration that the family story is being rewritten. And one day, a child will point to you and say, "That's the one who changed everything. That's the one who made it possible for all of us." 3. Set a new standard. You're not here to fit in. You're here to set the new normal. Let others normalize debt. You normalize investments. Let them expect struggle. You expect overflow. Let them talk fear. You speak vision. You are the first millionaire mindset in a family of limitations. You are the blueprint they didn't know they needed. But this means you'll walk alone for a while. Not everyone will understand. Not everyone will support. That's okay, because your tribe is not blood. Your tribe is frequency. And when you rise to the wealth vibration, you'll begin to meet others who speak your language, hold your vision, match your energy. You'll realize you were never meant to stay in the old room. You were meant to build a new house. Now here's a powerful, energetic exercise. Tonight, light a candle, sit in silence, and say these words out loud. I release the scarcity of my bloodline. I forgive every financial wound carried by my family. I honor their survival, and I choose expansion. I claim wealth not just for me, but for all who came before me and all who will come after. Let the tears come if they need to. This is soul work. This frequency cleansing. And as you say those words, imagine a new lineage emerging. One where children are born into opportunity, where faith is greater than fear, where abundance is the default. You're not just changing your life, you are resurrecting your entire legacy. That is the power of one awakened soul. And now, the final layer. In Part 8, we bring it all home. We'll integrate everything. We'll finalize the shift. We'll install the wealth frequency as your permanent operating system. But first, if you feel the calling of legacy, if your soul knows this was meant for you, comment below, "I break the chain. I build the legacy." Say it like a vow, because that's what it is. You were never just meant to survive this life. You were chosen to shift the future. Let's finish this.
Install it. Lock it in. Become it. You've come a long way. You've cleared the old programming. You've aligned your thoughts, your emotions, your actions. You've faced your identity, healed your bloodline, and stepped into a new energetic reality. But there's one final step, one final integration. You must now become the permanent broadcast. Not a moment of high energy followed by collapse, not a spark of faith followed by fear, but a consistent, locked-in identity that no longer tries, it just is.
That's how the wealth frequency becomes unshakable. That's how it becomes your default operating system. Not something you access during a good week, but something you carry in every breath. Because once it's installed, your reality has no choice but to conform. So let's talk about how to install it. 1. Move from effort to integration. In the beginning, it takes effort to tune in. You have to remind yourself, reaffirm, repeat. But now, you're no longer building a house. You're living in it. You've laid the bricks. You've wired the energy. You've painted the walls of your subconscious. Now it's time to live like someone who's not trying to attract wealth, but someone who naturally does because it's who they are. This means no more checking for proof, no more looking around asking, is it working yet? You stop asking. Why? Because it's already done. You've shifted. It's locked in. Now reality is catching up. 2. Make wealth boring. Sounds crazy, right? But here's the truth. The more normal abundance becomes, the faster it arrives. As long as it feels special or rare, your subconscious still sees it as separate. But when it becomes part of your routine, how you talk, how you carry yourself, how you make choices, you collapse the distance. You're not excited about wealth. You're expecting it. You're not surprised when it shows up. You're calm, grateful, unshaken. That's the vibration of someone who's already there. Wealth becomes your new baseline, and your new baseline becomes your new life. 3. Recalibrate quickly. Even with all this work, yes, there will be moments. Moments of doubt, moments of fear, moments where the old voice whispers again. But now you don't live there. You recalibrate instantly. You feel the slip and you reset. You remember who you are. You tune back in. You say, that's not me anymore. The difference now is you don't spiral. You don't sink. You shift fast. Because the wealth frequency is no longer a peak state. It's your home frequency. And home always calls you back. 4. Share the signal. You didn't do all this to keep it to yourself. The final phase of integration is expansion. Not from ego, from overflow. You walk into rooms and lift the vibration without trying. You speak life into people without needing credit. You bless others because you are blessed, automatically. And that's when something wild happens. The more you give, the more you receive. Because wealth is no longer something you get. It's something you are. It's something that flows through you. Your words carry it. Your energy transmits it. Your presence installs it in others. This is legacy. This is embodiment. This is mastery. Now breathe. Feel the shift. This is not just the end of a video. This is the end of an identity and the birth of a new one. The old you, the one who waited, doubted, begged, shrunk, played small, gone. The new you, aligned, embodied, magnetic, wealthy, inside and out. Let this be the moment, not when you learned more, but when you became more. Let the world say, I don't know what happened to you, but something changed. You glow differently. You walk differently. You sound free. Smile. Because you didn't chase the dream. You tuned into the version of you who already had it. And then you matched that energy until life had to deliver it. This is the wealth frequency. And it's yours now. Forever. Comment below if you've made the full shift. I am wealth. I am the signal. I am unstoppable. Then, rewatch this entire series anytime you need to reset, anytime you forget, anytime the world tries to pull you back. This is your anchor. your blueprint, your home base. And if you made it this far, I see you. You're not a seeker anymore. You're a transmitter. Let's build something generational. Let's change the frequency of the world.